Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for my monthly Q&A video. Now, last month I didn't do a video because of the holidays, but I do have some questions from December. And if you're new here, this is a monthly video that I typically do to answer any questions. Of course, I'm answering questions in the comments as well. But if you'd like to leave a question for next month, leave it in the comment section below and I will compile those and answer those as best I can. So I printed these questions out. And the first question comes from Oliver G. Are you still collecting and watching Vinegar Syndrome titles? If so, what are your favorites currently? And if I'm not, why did you stop? Yes, I am still collecting Vinegar Syndrome. I think they're a great label. I love their sales. I do have quite a few titles, and I do plan to do a video on Vinegar Syndrome at some point. But I will share one of my favorites. And I think this movie was out of print for a long time, but this is one of my favorites, Fade to Black. I just love the artwork on this one, on this release. And I think you can still get this one, but it might not be with a slipcover at this point. So many times with Vinegar Syndrome, they have a special release, a limited release with the slipcover, and I was able to get one of these with the slipcover. So that's a great question. Again, I'm a big fan of the label, and I plan to do a special video just on my Vinegar Syndrome titles at some point. So thanks so much for that question. The next question comes from Andreas, and first of all, he says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thanks so much for that. The question is, which Criterion collection set or movie would you recommend as a gift? Now, in this case, he was asking about a Christmas gift for last month for old and new collectors. Hope all is well, and hope you have a good holiday season, and I hope you had a great holiday season as well. One of the ones I picked up, I was really giving this a lot of thought, and there's so many great releases of in the Criterion collection, but one of my favorite releases happens to be a box set of 3 films, and I've done a video on this already, and I'm going to link that video below. But it is the Koker Trilogy, 3 films from Abbas Kiarostami, and this is just an amazing set, one of my favorite pickups from the Criterion collection. And I just love this. I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but I will, like I said, link the video below so that you can watch the video about this where I open this up. One of the reasons I like this is because, to me, you know, the artwork is amazing. These films, in a way, are sort of like puzzles, and so I love how the artwork, and I'll just pull this out a little bit so you can see, but I go through this in detail. You can see even on the front here how it's almost like a puzzle. It's something that you can put together. And so I really love this, and I would highly recommend it as a gift for anyone who's interested in international films. And it's just a gift all around, I would think, for anyone that might be interested in getting started with the Criterion collection. Now, these films are also subtitled, so if you don't like subtitles, maybe it's not the best for you. But this is one that came to mind. I love the set. It's an amazing set. If you don't have it already, highly recommend it, and it could be great as a gift. Again, if someone likes artwork, this is just another place to see that. So thanks so much for that amazing question. I really appreciate that, Andreas. The next one comes from Jessica. Any Oscar predictions for next year or this year? I will say, as you may know from the channel, I'm not always watching current films. I really don't go to the theater at this point anymore, and I'm pretty much watching films and TV shows at home. But I am aware of some of the nominations. I guess I'm not really even following some of the nominations, but I am aware of some of them. And I will say the ones on my list that I'm interested in, and I haven't seen these, so I can't really comment on them too much. But these are the ones I'm really interested in, and I think some of these are up for awards. One of them is Power of the Dog, which is on Netflix, and Benedict Cumberbatch is in that one. I'm really looking forward to that. The next one is the Kenneth Branagh film Belfast. Again, heard some great things about that. Have not seen it, but I'm interested in it. Dune I have seen, and I really like that. I'm hoping that Dune picks up some awards. I feel like it was one of the best releases of 2021. The Tragedy of Macbeth, I'm interested in. I do have Apple TV, and so I'm hoping to watch that. I like to find some time to watch that. I have been watching a lot of Shakespeare films lately, particularly Olivier versions of Shakespeare. So I'm really interested to watch that. And then Come On with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm interested in watching that one. And then finally, as you may know from the channel, I'm a big fan of Paul Thomas Anderson, and Licorice Pizza is one of my favorites, or it's one of the ones I'm looking forward to, let's put it that way. A little bit of controversy there too. I haven't seen the film, so I'm not really exactly sure what it's all about, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. I have many Paul Thomas Anderson films, and I'm a big fan of his. So really looking forward to those. So those are my predictions. Again, I used to be really into the Oscars, but lately really haven't been following the Golden Globes or the Oscars or anything like that. I'm really just involved with other films and other movies, mostly older movies. But when these do come out, I'm hoping to pick up some physical media on each of these. Some of them, like I mentioned, are on streaming services. So like Power of the Dog, I'm hoping to get to at some point. Great question. Thanks so much for that. The next question comes from Eric, and it is, are there any post-2000 noir style films you are a fan of? And so I pulled a few of these. Of course, I am such a huge fan of films. I'm sure there are many more of these. These are just a few that were off the top of my head that I was interested in. The first one is Heist with Gene Hackman, Danny DeVito, and Delroy Lindo. And there's the back of that one. This is a DVD. Not sure if there's a Blu-ray out on this one yet, but this is one of the ones I really like. Speaking of Gene Hackman, I was just rewatching The French Connection last night, and that's one of my favorite all-time films from the 70s. If you haven't seen French Connection, really amazing film. But this is one that it looks like from 2001. So there's one that's really good. And again, I'm not going to get into too much detail about the films themselves, but you can definitely check these out. You probably know from the channel, I'm a big fan of Martin Scorsese. So this one I love, The Departed. Really great cast in this one, including Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg. Really big fan of Scorsese. I think this is one of his best, at least one of my favorites. So highly recommend this one. Also, I've talked about on the channel being a huge fan of Michael Mann. I just love Michael Mann. And this is one that I'm not sure a lot of people talk about, but I really like it. And I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan either, but this is a great one. Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx in Collateral. I think this is a really interesting one, really creative. This is a Blu-ray and it does have some extra features on it. Anytime I could pick up a film with a commentary by Michael Mann, I mean, I'm all in on that. So this has some extra features as well. And this is a Blu-ray, of course. So Collateral is one of my favorites. And finally, I'm sure anybody that's watched the channel knows that I am a big fan of Sidney Lumet. And this is his last film, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. And so I think this is an amazing film, especially for a last film. I think it's pretty amazing that Sidney Lumet, I mean, of course, most all of his films are great, or at least I'm a fan of them anyway. But this is an amazing last film from him. Great performances from Ethan Hawke and Philip Seymour Hoffman. If you haven't seen this one, check it out. This is a Shout Select release. It's got interviews with the screenwriter, interview with Ethan Hawke, an audio commentary with Sidney Lumet, and stars Philip Seymour Hoffman and Ethan Hawke. Really great. So again, I highly recommend this one. Also, great questions here. And I really do appreciate these questions. Thanks so much. The last one comes from Dan, and he says, what are some of your best pickups from 2021, and then what are you hoping to get in 2022? I'm going to start with the last question first, and the releases right now that I'm interested in currently, I've really kind of slowed down a little bit of my collecting, and I'm really watching more of the collection that I do have. I'm really studying those films, really getting into some things there. But the ones I'm looking forward to, Dune has already come out, as I think I mentioned. Ordinary People, I'm really interested in the Paramount Presents release of Ordinary People. Now, I just have the DVD. One of my favorite films, of course, Robert Redford directed this film, and so many great performances. It's really an amazing film if you haven't seen this one already. Again, this is a DVD, but the Blu-ray is coming out. I think Paramount Presents does a great job with their releases, so I'm looking forward to that and seeing what else they have in store for us. Halloween Kills, I know, is out. I'm interested in picking up a copy of that. I was also noticing there's going to be a Blu-ray release of a movie called 200 Cigarettes. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard of that one before, but I'm really interested in picking that up. I had a copy of it years ago on DVD, and it's, I think, going to have a Blu-ray release next month, if I'm not mistaken there. And then one of the Criterion releases that I'm very interested in is Flight of the Phoenix, the original Flight of the Phoenix with Jimmy Stewart and kind of an all-star cast there. I'm really excited to see the Criterion release of that film. So those are just a few that I'm looking forward to, and I'm sure there's going to be many more. But like I said, I'm mostly, these days anyway, interested in some older films. So those are the ones that are just at the top of my list that I'm looking forward to. Some of my favorite pickups from 2021. Now, there were so many amazing releases in 2021, so this is just a fraction of things. And of course, I didn't pick up everything that was released in 2021, of course, but these are some that really piqued my interest that maybe I hadn't had a chance to watch before. And the first one I'm going to talk about is this movie from the writer of John Wick, Nobody, with Bob Odenkirk. I think this is a really amazing movie. Really fun to see Bob Odenkirk in a different light. And a lot of action, a lot of interesting dialogue, great writing, of course. And this is a Blu-ray with a digital copy. But if you haven't seen this before, highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. This is one of my favorites from the year. The next one, I'm sure I mentioned this in a haul video as well, but I was so looking forward to this because I didn't have a copy of this movie. But this is Fast Times at Ridgemont High from the Criterion Collection. And this is spine number 1075 from the Criterion Collection. Lots of extra features. I was so excited because I didn't have a copy of this movie already. So it's nice when a special release comes out, especially Criterion, where I didn't have a copy of the movie. So this is one I was really excited about, one of my favorite pickups from 2021. I've talked about this on the channel before too. This is one of my favorite releases from Kino Lorber, and that's the Night Stalker. This is the complete series. So there was a TV series done of the Night Stalker. There were 2 movies done, and then this TV series. But Kino Lorber is just really doing a great job at these releases. You can see all the special features here. And again, I featured this in another video, but really excited. This is one of my favorite releases of the year, and I'm so happy I picked it up. So if you get a chance, Kino Lorber is a company that I've talked about, a special label I've talked about many times, and they're really coming out with some great releases. I just picked up a copy of their version of The Great Escape, which has a Criterion release also, but there's some extra features on that were not on the Criterion release. So that's a great release. This next one too was a film that I really discovered this year, and luckily Indicator still had a copy of it. It wasn't out of print yet, and that is Little Murders. This is a great film directed by Alan Arkin. Lots of fun performances in this one. And you can see also Indicator, which is a label from the UK. They do such a great job with extra features also. And I think this year, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong here, but I feel like there's going to be a US distributor for some titles, which is great because these, when you order these, obviously you're paying extra, for the shipping costs. But I've got a small Indicator collection, and this is one of my favorites. I'm so happy I discovered this movie. It's now one of my favorite movies from the 70s. This is from 1971. So I'm really, really excited I picked this one up. And finally, I have to say, I've been really interested lately in watching John Sturges movies. And so I've been collecting those. And this is one that I hadn't seen before, surprisingly enough. I hadn't seen this movie before. And this is Ice Station Zebra with Rock Hudson and Ernest Borgnine, Patrick McGowan, Jim Brown. They all give great performances in it as well. But I hadn't seen this movie before, and for some reason I'm so fascinated by John Sturges films lately, and I'm not really sure what it is. It just seems like kind of a slow burn type adventure film. A lot of things they seem to be done more in real time, which I really enjoy. But I found when I watched this movie that I kept going back. I kept thinking about it, which usually is a great sign to me that it's a good movie for me, or at least one that I can rewatch. So Ice Station Zebra. But I've started collecting some John Sturges films. Of course, John Sturges did Bad Day at Black Rock, Gunfight at OK Corral, The Great Escape. Let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite John Sturges movie. I'm planning to do, I think, a video on Sturges. So this is a movie that I really enjoy. And again, I'm sure many of you have seen this movie before, but this is the first year that I explored it and really enjoyed it. And then I had to pick up a copy of it. I believe I saw it on TCM to start with, and then I said I need to get a copy of this movie. So anyway, great film, and this is one of my most favorite pickups of 2021. Well, thank you so much for all the questions. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. If you have questions for next month, please leave a comment in this video, and I'll collect those and print them out as I normally do and read those and answer your questions. This one took a little bit longer because I had to do a little bit more research and really think about a lot of these questions, but I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching today. If you like this video, click on like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Lots of great things coming up in 2022. I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.